Before I get into the main topic of this video, guys, I just want to tell you guys that I've been gone for quite a while, and there's good reason for that. I have exams called GCSEs. If you don't know what that is, just check that up on Google. It should come up straight away. But basically, I have these GCSE exams, and they're quite important for my future. So I've just been studying a lot, and basically, the last 2 weeks was my Easter breaks, which is 2 weeks long. So I'll spend all that time revising and just studying so I can do my best with these exams. That I did tell you guys in previous videos that I will be studying for my exams and that I wouldn't be uploading as often, but I never thought that I would get to like 3 weeks. I thought I'd actually have time to upload at least one video because, to be honest, rendering doesn't take too long and recording isn't too much of a hassle on my laptop right now. So it's possible, but I've just probably been lazy, and I'm sorry to you guys if you're actually expecting something. I doubt any of you expected, but there was one person that expected the video, like just something, like in the past 2 3 weeks. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try and at least upload one video a week or two videos a week. It depends on what it is, but definitely this week, this will probably be the only video that's coming up because I've one of my first GCSE exams next week, Monday, which is basically 6 days, less than a week. So I'll be hard away at work, and if I come back, I'll be even more relaxed, and then better content will be coming. But anyways, let's get back to the topic of today's video, and yeah, let's go. Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. My name is Timmy, the Toy Tank King, and I have not done that in a very, very long time, guys. But anyways, we are back for a brand new video today, and we'll be going over the Magmortar suspect test currently ongoing in PU, my main tier. I'm a PU main, don't get that twisted. But anyways, Magmortar is currently being suspect tested in PU at the moment after the usage stats. Sorry I didn't do a video on the April usage stats. I usually do. I've been doing it since at least January, ever since like Antar went on like his really long break of uploading the usage stats. But I did it for January, February, and March. But so I didn't get an April one up. I've explained like in the first minute and a half of the video why I haven't been able to upload. But anyways, we're not focusing on that right now. We're focusing on today's topic, which is the Magmortar suspect test. And now basically, like the previous suspect test videos I've made in the past, I'll be going over my own thoughts and opinions on the Pokemon, going over points that have been made in this thread and just talking about them, summarizing them, and saying my opinions on the suspect test. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like down below. I expect to see 10 million likes for my return. I've made a return, and even though I might go again, I have returned in glory with this video. I am confident today. But anyways, let's start with the first starting thread to the Magmortar suspect test. And yeah, so we have decided to have a quick suspect test, Magmortar being the subject. As soon as we lost Altaria, a already big threat to a balanced and in general slower teams got even stronger. The PU Council deemed it strong enough to deserve a suspect test. And basically, Galbia doesn't go into much reasoning here, but he mentions the flexibility in deciding which item to run without hindering its power too much. You have Torn, you have Crystals, you have Choice Specs, you have even a Flame Play set that I've been running recently that is actually pretty solid. But anyways, is what made the council suspect test it because it's just so flexible. Like you have really good stats. You have 125 base special attack. With any item, you're gonna be doing a lot of damage to anything. Access to a 110 base power, stab, move, and fire blast. Just really strong. Gets focus blast, really good coverage, and breaks a lot of Pokemon in the tier. Like there's not too much that can check Magmortar like really freely. To be honest, like Altaria was the best example, but since we lost that thing to NU, not much you could have done. To be honest, like Altaria resists Focus Blast, resist Fire Blast, even resist Hidden Power Grass, and Thunderbolt is only neutral. But since Altaria's special defense is so high, then it's not taking too much damage from Thunderbolt, to be honest. And yeah, since Altaria left, Magmortar has become even more troublesome. Like, we had Typhlosion for how many hours? Like, yeah, sorry I didn't go over the usage stats. But anyways, we had Typhlosion for quite less than a day, and it was already even more dangerous than Magmortar. But it got quick ban straight away. But Magmortar may not be on the same level as Typhlosion with the eruption spam, but Magmortar is still very, very dangerous and whatnot. And what do you call it? He also mentions Galbia. The viable counterplay it has is really limited to Carbon and Lantern. I'm surprised no one even mentions Sliggoo because, like, Sliggoo, we're forced to run. like really unorthodox Pokemon, e.g. Salute Goo, to actually counter Magmortar. That's how much of a threat it is. Now, this isn't expressing my opinion on whether I want it banned or not, but it's a pretty convincing argument for pro ban of Magmortar because it's just too strong, honestly. But also it says which aren't particularly good at anything else or reliable at all, and this sets it apart from other things like Auroras that tend to be at least soft checked, but at least the so-called everything resist Clefairy type no, or Pyro lacks that the incredible coverage. So at the moment, probably Magmortar is stronger than Pyro right now. Just breaks a lot of teams, and honestly, Time No doesn't want to be taking Fighting Name Z or even Focus Blast, to be honest. And Clefairy can get easily beat by Taunt Magmortar, which is on the rise now because of Clefairy and whatnot. But yeah, it also says the Rex requirement of 80 GXE with minimum game count of 35, and it seems harder than it looks, not gonna lie. Getting requirements is very, very hard. And I won't be uploading suspect test. I did for Passimian, but I'm not doing it this time because obviously I don't have the time to do that. But I've been playing off camera. I will try and get these Recs, man. Like there's still 6 days left. But anyways, going into the post, we got some solid posts by Haku and who else made pretty decent posts. Lugia Proto and my guy Coot Verd. So yeah, let's just start off with Haku's post. Well, this guy hasn't been playing PE too long, but obviously he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. But anyways, he says lack of switching, which is something I haven't discussed yet about Magmortar. But yeah, lack of switching. So he mentions that most teams rely on offensive checks in order to stop Magmortar, since its incredible attacking stats and amazing coverage are almost impossible to wall by most defensive threats. Even common defensive answers to Magmortar like Lantern can get loaded in by its other coverage moves like Earthquake, further implying its insane coverage. I'm pretty sure Lantern gets 2 KO'd by Magmortar Earthquake because even if you don't invest any attack, Magmortar still has 95 base attack, which is actually pretty solid. So yeah, it's actually doing decent damage. And offensive teams that don't have anything to actually outspeed Magmortar and kill it easily, like let's say Flute or Archeops, they're gonna struggle. And I'm not gonna lie, they're going to struggle. Like Fire Blast will I don't think any offensive Pokemon in the tier gets free killed by freaking Fire Blast. Like that's how strong it is. And like I mentioned earlier that I ran Flame Play. Flame Play increases Fire Blast initial base power before stab is included to 132. So even increasing Fire Blast damage, like nothing, no offensive mon gets freaking free killed. Not that I know of, or like I played this tier enough to know that offensive mons, even a resisted like Floatzel still taking the heat from Fire Blast. And yeah, there's no switchings at that point. There's no switchings. Anyways, the second point is Magmortar's versatile, and obviously I've mentioned the amount of sets that Magmortar is able to run that just invalidate like a lot of Pokemon quite easily. Like you got Taunt, you got Z Crystals, you got even Flame Play. I mentioned it Flame Play because it's honestly not that bad, but you got even Flame Charge, you got Earthquake as a fourth move, Taunt as a possible fourth move as well to beat Clefairy, and it's just too annoying to face honestly. And what do you call it? He also mentions here again that the versatility with Earthquake, like Lantern always fears getting hit by Earthquake, because obviously you're gonna think that Lantern can tank a Fire Blast because it can, but if the player predicts that and goes for an Earthquake, if it's actually having Earthquake, then that's a bit of a mind game there, and that's what the problem is, to be honest. And Flame Charge as well, like uncommon, yeah, less common than what do you call it, Torn and Earthquake, but it makes Magmortar even faster and more annoying to deal with, to be honest. And his final point invalidates certain teams. Mentions that the pressure Magmortar puts on teams serves to invalidate certain matchups where Magmortar is present. Uh, Feels like out of even these offensive ones like Pyro, Kingler, Archeops, very strong wall breakers in the tier that what do you call it? It just invalidates a lot of teams. Doesn't really mention the types of teams that get invalidated, but I can think of maybe Stall getting invalidated by just really strong wall breakers like Magmortar. So pretty good post by Haku there. Anyways, we're going to move on to Lugia Proto's what do you call it post. I read this a while ago and it's a pretty solid post as well. He thinks that Magmortar has warped the current meta game and okay, mentioning the common points, extremely strong wall breaker with decent speed and balanced teams. What do you call it? Uh, have trouble actually taking it out because you know there's no problem of you being a really strong wall breaker and having poor speed because there'll always be a way of checking that with decently fast Pokemon like e.g. Drampa. Like even let's say a fighting one, Hitmonchan, like Hitmonchan's not the fastest Pokemon in the tier, especially when it's not running max speed investment, but you're still able to check Drampa quite comfortably. But Magmortar actually has a decent speed tier, which makes Mons that aren't slow and not fast at the same time, if you guys know what I mean. Just average speed. Pretty troublesome. But yeah, you also mentioned Sliggoo because Sliggoo is just that niche pick. Extremely niche and serve almost no purpose in the matchup without a Magmortar. And due to recent techs, Magmortar has become even more difficult to handle. That like you'd think it'll get beat by Cleffa and Type No, but you can run choice specs to wall break past these Pokemon or Taunt. Yep, Taunt is just pretty viable. Uh, Another set that I even forgot to mention, AV, which is probably top three most run set on Magmortar at the moment, in my opinion, and even Scarf, not too common, and Elo as well. But Elo is probably the wouldn't really say worse because Elo could still do heaps of damage, but it's like worst one with Scarf, but Scarf is uncommon as well. But and even physical Magmortar sets when people be running that belly drum, but people low ladder shenanigans. But this is for like actual. If you're playing seriously, then yeah, you'll be facing a lot of versatile sets. And all in all, he thinks Magmortar should be banned. Like, and he has every reason to believe that. Now, going on to the final post by my guy Cute Bird. Don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but that's how I think you pronounce it. But yeah, first point, many Magmortar counters exist, but they're all suboptimal choices. In the case of, let's say, Sliggoo, Solrock, Carbink, Hakamo, as he mentions here, even Spadef Valley Dragon, and Aurorus. Like, Aurorus is like another really strong wall breaker that just struggles against Magmortar as well, because you don't outspeed it. Earth Power never kills. No, Specs, Earth Power kills, but if you're running a Scarf, I don't think Earth Power kills. And then you just get one shot by Focus Blast if it decides to land. And in the case that it does land, Aurorus is gone at that point. It's pretty gone. And then like the counters, the checks to even Magmortar, the solid checks like Type No and Clefairy, they're getting checked now by the suboptimal, not the suboptimal sets, but the more like niche sets of Magmortar, like let's say Flame Play, Specs. Taunt isn't really niche because people are actually running Taunt Mag, even myself. But yeah, all the checks are just not really checks if you guys get what I'm saying. But they're checks, but it's pretty hard to check Magmortar in the first place. The second point is not hard to check, but checking comes at a high cost. And he says we shouldn't be fooled by Magmortar's apparent low staying power because it can lead against stuff like Mesprit, defensive Mesprit, and obviously force them to tank a Fire Blast. And Mesprit is that solid fighting check to Pokemon like Gerda and Hitmonchan, and weakening them, weakening Mesprit just makes these Pokemon have an easier time because let's say Hitmonchan, Ice Punch should still be doing solid damage, and Cobble Berry can't reduce too much damage from knockoff on Gerda. But yeah. Also, being weak to rocks, he says, isn't an argument. Like, to be honest, Typhlosion is weak to what rocks. Still does heaps of damage with Fire Blast, Choice Specs, and it has the speed tier. But that thing got quick banned from PU. So, being weak to rocks, I agree with him. It's not really a solid argument. Yeah, it can take damage, but, if you have the support, like Healing Wish support and hazard removal, that isn't really too much of a problem. So the being weak to rocks argument is just pretty stupid, not gonna lie. Then his final point is invalidates balance and store. Like, okay, he actually mentioned the teams that get invalidated. Haku talks about the invalidation of teams, but didn't mention specifics. And now Coot here mentions balance and store. And just wall breaking past Storm Mons is quite easy. Like, just have 6 wall breakers and Storm can't do anything. But that's not optimal to have 6 wall breakers on the team. But you know, Magmortar does heaps and heaps of damage to Storm. Muku doesn't like taking a Thunderbolt. No Ordino don't like taking Fighting Z and whatnot, you know. And anything else that he says here, uh, Balance becomes unable to handle one single one from turn 1 and is forced to make hyper aggressive plays. So many people decided not to sell rocks and U-turn with Mesprit versus the incoming more elite seed or Pharaoh seed instead of spikes. Going into Cleffa, Gastrodon, probably meant Clefairy there because no one's using Cleffa in their right mind. Gastrodon double switches and leaves chip damage to avoid losing a Pokemon, which is quite ridiculous. If you can't even get rocks up because it comes at the cost of losing one Mon, then you can't play Balance anymore, which is actually pretty solid point that I made there, and I've actually seen that on ladder. But yeah, that's all it is to the posts on this thread. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about, guys, is my own opinion on the Magmortar suspect test. Now, Magmortar can cause a lot of trouble. Like, this is just coming from my own experiences. Like, I'm not the best team builder, but if I've made a team that just gets wrecked by Magmortar, then there's an issue. But if you can get prepared for it, then is good. But if you're put into a weird spot where in the battle Magmortar can just take rain and just nuke something quite easily, then it's a problem for the tier, to be honest. And balance and bulky offense is kind of the way of PU at the moment in the current meta game. And we have a lot of strong wall breakers that are just tearing the tier apart that easily deserve a suspect test as much as Magmortar, Aurorus, Archeops. The list goes on to about a few more mons, but that's about it for now. But yeah, I think Magmortar should be banned, and if I get the requirement somehow, I will put my vote to ban. But yeah, this will be the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a discussion type video. I haven't done in quite a long time, and it feels good to record again. Like, I enjoy recording, and the YouTube is quite fun to do. And like, once my exams are done, in the next 2 months or so, I think my last exam is on June 15th. So after that, I'm going to have so much time to upload videos, play a lot of PU, play a lot of Pokemon, enjoy what I like playing. And yeah, hope you guys are ready to watch those upcoming videos. I want the likes, I want the subscribers, I want the views. I want you guys to enjoy what you're watching, and I want to enjoy making content for you guys to watch. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.